What was the most gut-wrenching scene that you've had to film during your run of the Doctor?
Oh, probably for me, probably the last ones.
Hello, this is Riley Silverman for Nerdist.com, and I'm here with 3 of the Doctors from Doctor Who. Very exciting. And let's just get right into it, because time is of the essence. Did any of you make any really conscious changes in your performance in between, like, your first and second season? Like, once you had a chance to kind of wear the Doctor a little bit and have some space from it before going back into it again?
I don't remember making any conscious decisions. I remember feeling that a lot of it was to do with just relaxing a bit and just sort of going, it's okay, you know, because it's a big thing to take on, you know. It does feel like there's a lot of pressure, like we've been talking about earlier. There's so much pressure before you shoot a single scene. It's very hard to keep the noise out of your head. And I think once you've got one season under your belt, it was easier to go back and kind of go, it's all right, I'm allowed to be here now. But I don't know that was conscious so much as just a sort of a benefit of having survived.
Yeah, I think really there's sort of more pressure on the writers for the second season, isn't there? They sort of tend to panic because they've got that first season in their head generally, and then the second one is often, it's a bit like the kind of second album syndrome. I think they sort of panic a bit, but we just crack on with it, don't we?
And I think what's exciting for us is that we're coming in and knowing that we've explored so much, but like the first season is quite adrenaline for yourself, for the episodes and all that. But then actually when it is your second season, like you were saying, Matt, about the writers, it's them that generally lets you explore a different side. And so it feels like you made this massive choice, like you're going to play it differently. But it's like, well, no, these episodes are new and the pace is being mixed up. But that's what's great about it, is that you get more than one season. You get to put your toes into all these different like emotions and sides to the Doctor.
What would you think of like your hardest moment, like as an actor to film? Like, what was the most gut-wrenching scene that you've had to film during your run of the Doctor?
Oh, probably for me, probably the last ones.
Yeah.
Because it'd been such a exciting, wonderful, happy, sort of vivid time. No matter how resolved you are to moving on and how, however right that might be, it might absolutely be the right time to do that. It's still a tough thing to leave, because you sort of know that whatever else happens and however you've felt about it, there will be no job that will be quite like this job ever again.
I think I know that I haven't had that yet. And I think I already can, if I think about leaving, it makes me cry. So the actual thing of when it happens will be, I can preempt that will be my devastating moment.
And you've got to be really nice about it as well. That's the other thing.
I love it. You guys are nice to me. Peter was lovely.
Do you remember having to go into like your first big Doctor speech? Because that's like an iconic part of the show and you really got to nail it. And I think all of you definitely nailed your speeches. And I think those first Doctor speeches are the first time you had to go somewhere really dark for the Doctor. What was that like going into that as an actor?
My first Doctor speech was day 2 on a crane. And so the brilliant thing was I was completely obsessed with the health and safety of the crane. It felt like it just once we went and we realised we were actually, it was all right. Me and Tim Shaw weren't going to fall off. And we got into it. And weirdly, that adrenaline and fizzing of everything and the elements, it was like in it down. It was really Welsh weather. Everything about it was like epic. It felt like any kind of self-conscious element to my actorness kind of had to go away because I had too many other things to think about. So I think I was really lucky. I was angry when I saw the call sheet and I was like, are you kidding me? But then actually in hindsight, had it been 3 weeks in, it'd have been this big, oh my God, moment.
I suppose the first big bit I did was, in my first story, I'm unconscious for like 2/3 of it. And then I wake up and kind of talk for the final third. So it was all quite stacked in that way. So there was a lot of sort of waiting and kind of, and it all ended with a sword fight. It was a bit, but in a way that was quite like that, because it meant you could rehearse that bit like a play, because it was just you. talking to some monsters who just had to stand there and listen, and then you fought one of them with a broadsword. So there was lots of time to kind of get ready for it and prep it, and you felt in some ways that was you could feel quite safe that. Yes, it was a bit terrifying that was rumbling down the track and that it was on the call sheet, it was approaching. But you kind of knew that it was just sort of down to you. There was a kind of task to that, which my sort of Presbyterian work ethic quite appreciated, I think.
They shot episodes 5 and 6 of my series first, and purposefully with Alex, because Alex Kingston was in it heavily. And they thought she'd be a good conduit for me. And then they shot episode 1. But my first day on the set of Doctor Who was on a beach. It was a bit like you, Jodie, and we had to shoot because the tide was coming in and it just came in early. And we're looking up at this big cliff, and it was me, Alex, and Karen, and the elements just completely us really. And so you just sort of cracked on with it because that's what's great, isn't it? You film it in Wales, and there's nothing you can do because it's either raining, freezing, or and and then she just sort of literally dive in with both feet.